A regular meeting of the Blacksburg Planning Commission held every first Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. in the Roger E. Hedgepath Chambers in the Blacksburg Municipal Building at 300 South Main Street here in Blacksburg. Citizens may address the Blacksburg Planning Commission during specified times on the agenda and are requested to adhere to the following. Please speak at the podium, state your name and address, direct comments only to the commission, and please limit speaking time to a maximum of 3 minutes. Speak only once during a specific hearing or comment period. Please silence all cell phones, show respect for all speakers, and allow all opinions to be expressed in a tolerant atmosphere. So we'll call this meeting to order, and could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Britt. Here. Mr. Ehrman. Mr. Ford.
Here.
Ms. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Kassoff. Mr. Cassie.
Here.
Ms. Reinhardt.
Here.
Ms. Walker.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We have a consent agenda. First is to approve the Planning Commission minutes from December 2nd, 2025. Did we do it all together? I can't remember. All together. And then the second is to schedule a public hearing for February 3rd, CUP 25-7, request for educational facilities, college and university use in the RD, research and development at 1701 Craft Drive. Do I have a motion?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
I second.
Okay, all of those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then we'll move on to our first public hearing, CUP 25-5, general office use in the Old Town Residential District at 207 West Roanoke Street. We'll begin with a staff presentation by Mr. Patterson.
Good evening. Conditional use permit 25-5, general office in Old Town Residential. Property owner is Mr. John K. Skelton. Property is located at 207 West Roanoke Street. It's approximately 0.294 acres in size. The building itself is currently vacant. The zoning is Old Town Residential, and the proposed use is for general office use. This is a depiction here of 207 West Roanoke Street. It's a through lot located between West Roanoke Street and Wall Street. The existing condition, it is a 1 1/2 story building with basement. Prior, there was a 1980 special use permit restricted to use solely by Virginia Polytechnical Institute State University for administrative indoor faculty offices. It was constructed as a single-family structure back in 1940. This is a depiction of the front of the property. The property is zoned Old Town Residential, and the future land use is medium density residential. The criteria for evaluation of a conditional use permit, the proposal submitted or modified shall conform to the comprehensive plan of the town or to specific elements of the plan and to official town policies adopted in relation thereto, including the purposes of the zoning ordinance. The proposal as submitted or modified shall have a minimum adverse impact on the surrounding neighborhoods or community. Adverse impact shall be evaluated with consideration to items such as, but not limited to, traffic congestion, noise, lights, dust, drainage, water quality, air quality, odor, fumes, and vibrations. In considering the impacts, due regard shall be given to the timing of the operation, site design, access screening, or other matters which might be regulated to mitigate adverse impacts. This is an aerial view of the property looking at from Roanoke Street. There are 10 existing parking spaces on the property. The general office standards in the Old Town Residential has minimum lot sizes, lot frontage, maximum densities, minimum setbacks, front, side, rear, maximum height and maximum lot coverage, and maximum floor area ratio. In each case, the existing use does meet the requirements of the Old Town Residential standards for development. Back in 1980, when the special use permit was approved, there also was an approved site development plan for the property. And the existing owner has been the continual owner ever since back in 1980. This is a kind of a blow-up of the insert of the site development plan. The large insert from 1980 site development plan currently is missing landscaping along the front and the rear property lines, and there's a bicycle rack that should be replaced. In addition, one of the parking spaces needs to be converted to an ADA handicap space. So the conditional use permit will need to reinstall the 1980 site development plan missing items, which are the missing landscaping along the front and rear property lines. and a bicycle rack for 5 bicycles. The property owner has asked for the bicycle rack actually to be relocated to the back behind the property rather than the front of the property that was shown on the site development plan. Staff does have recommended conditions. There are 5 recommended conditions. The conditions required by the 1980 special use permit are hereby canceled and are no longer valid, which means it's kind of a clean slate for us. The installation of missing site development plan trees and landscaping along the front and rear property lines to be completed by no later than July 1st of 2026. The installation of town standard inverted U-shaped bicycle rack for 5 bicycles shall be installed by no later than July 1st, 2026. It will provide for 1 ADA handicap parking space along with the ADA handicap signage. And then a sign permit will be submitted for staff review and approval prior to the placement of any new signage on the property. This is another depiction of the area view, and with that, any questions that you may have for staff?
So in the report, I apologize, I didn't make the work session last month. In the report, it mentioned there was a request from the owner to not install stuff along the western side of the thing, and so I'm assuming what we're saying the front and back, that's north and south.
Yeah, the front of the property here, and then the back of the property along Wall Street.
So
The property owner actually owns the adjoining property, and there's a ditch that conveys water that he didn't want it to obstruct with the fencing there.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, then we'll move on to the applicant presentation by Mr. Biederman.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm just really here to answer any questions that you guys may have. Playing Mr. Skelton right now, so.
Any questions for the applicant?
Do we know what's going in here?
It's going to be a title company. Nice.
Good office.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to public comment. However, we have no public present this evening. And so then we can move on to a motion and some discussion.
I move approval of CUP 25-5 with the staff recommended conditions.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Glad to see it being used.
Yes, I'm also glad to see it being used, and my only comment is that I would like for it to look like it's being used. So to have signage and maybe some street presence and, not just look like an empty building. Any pressure you would like to put on, the care of the building would also be very appreciated. Okay. Fabulous. Then, shall we vote? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? None. All right, then we'll move on to general citizen comment. Any general comment? No, not tonight. Then we'll move on to unfinished business, zoning ordinance review committee. Anybody?
We have not met.
Okay, not met. Historic design review board, our representative is not present this evening. Montgomery County Planning Commission, might have been me. Oh yeah, I think it was meant to be me. But I'll review the video and get back to you guys next week. Sorry, I don't have a report this evening. Any additional items from planning commissioners? No. Okay, new business. Chair's report, I'm filling in, so I have no report. Planning director's report.
I have one item. It's just a reminder that disclosure of real estate holdings forms are due by the 1st of February. That falls on a weekend, so it would be February 2nd. If you have any questions, please reach out to myself or Lorraine Spalding.
Thank you. Town council report?
Yes, so Town Council met today, our first work session of the new year. As everyone knows, we were a little down as far as our membership. There was only 5 present.
Yeah.
Some interesting items I wanted to bring up to the Planning Commission is that we are reviewing we have two public hearings scheduled next week. One of them is we'll be accepting basically parcel number 2 of the Brush Mountain. That's the Stone Cutters Hollow. Open space coming our way. There'll also be an open space easement with the Virginia Outdoors Foundation, which will preserve that in perpetuity. So as we continue to have growth pressure, and sometimes people talk about our view shed or the view shed being impacted, I think it's important that we are also trying to preserve the view. And also the dance hall permit, which we considered in November, I believe. Council did not take it up in December. The mandatory criminal background check needed to be completed, and it was just dragging out. That came back okay, so that'll move forward. Just a personal note about that we noted today, if there were conditions to that CUP, and one of them was that no pyrotechnics or fireworks would be used inside. And I'm sure when we were thinking about this in the latter part of the fall, we all probably thought, yeah, that's a pretty good idea that doesn't happen. And we unfortunately know what occurred in Switzerland recently. So it's important we are making sure those requirements are there.
Yeah.
We picked up the capital improvement program discussion for the new year. That's where we're planning all of these long-term projects. I believe you guys actually saw some of that in December. So, and that's all I have.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry. All right. Well, with that, we can adjourn.